Hello, my dear friends. It's such a joy to be here with you again, to sit with you, though perhaps through a screen, and share some gentle words, a story or two. And maybe, if you allow, a little spark of warmth in your heart. Today's topic is something timeless, something that never fades, even though the years pass, and the seasons of our lives change. It's about love. Yes, love life. Now, I know some of you might smile when I say that. Some of you might shake your head, thinking, love is for the young, for those who are still running in the park, with quick steps, still writing long letters filled with dreams of tomorrow. But I want to tell you something: love does not belong to youth alone. Love belongs to life itself. And as long as you are alive, breathing, feeling, there is always room for love. Let me start with a story. It's about a woman named Grace. Grace was 72 when I first met her. She had been widowed for almost 10 years. In the early years after her husband's passing, she carried herself with quiet dignity. She raised her children, supported her grandchildren, and she lived her life with grace, fitting her name perfectly. But as the years stretched on, she found the evenings longer, the mornings quieter, and her heart longing, not just for company, but for someone who could look at her and see her as a woman. Not only as a grandmother or mother, but as Grace, the person. One afternoon, she told me, she decided to attend a local art class. She loved painting when she was young, but had set it aside when life became busy. And in that class, sitting across from her, was a gentleman named Robert. He was 75, a retired teacher. His hair was white, his smile soft, his voice slow and thoughtful. They began to talk. Not about love, not about the loneliness, not about age. They talked about colors, brushes, about how stubborn paint can be when it doesn't dry the way you want. Week after week, they painted together. And then one day, Robert offered to walk Grace home. He carried her bag, and they laughed about how both of them had forgotten their umbrellas in the rain. Months passed, and something gentle grew between them. Not fireworks, not the wild rush of youth, but a steady warmth. Grace said to me once, "I thought love was behind me. But here it is, quiet, patient, but still very much love." Her story reminds me to tell you, love life is not reserved for those with unwrinkled skin and quick steps. It is for everyone, at every age. You see, love changes as we do. When we are young, it may feel like a fire, burning quickly, demanding, sometimes reckless. But later, it often feels like a fireplace, steady, warm. Something you can lean close to on a cold evening. And having a love life in our senior years is not about pretending to be young again. It's about embracing this new season with its own beauty. Think of a garden in autumn. The bright blossoms of spring may be gone. But oh, how beautiful the colors are in fall. The gold, the red, the quiet dignity of leaves that have lived a full life. Love in later years is much like that. It doesn't need to rush. It doesn't need to prove itself. It simply is. Some of you may be listening and wondering, but where do I even begin? How can I have a love life at this stage? And the answer, my dear friends, begins with companionship. Love life is not always about grand romance. It can begin with friendship, with shared laughter, with someone who sits with you over a cup of tea. Sometimes it is a neighbor you have known for years. Sometimes it is a person you meet in a club, at church, in a community center, or even online. And sometimes it may even come from rekindling an old connection, an old classmate, a long-lost friend. But at the heart of it all is openness. You must allow yourself to be open to connection. Now, I know that opening your heart can feel frightening. After all, many seniors carry the weight of loss. A spouse gone, a partner buried, years of memories stored in the heart. It can feel like a betrayal to even think about loving someone else. But let me gently remind you, love is not about replacing anyone. It is about honoring the love you had, and still allowing yourself to experience the love that is possible today. Having a love life at this age requires courage. Not the loud kind of courage, but the soft kind. The courage to smile again. The courage to let someone hold your hand as you walk slowly across the street. The courage to say, yes, I am still here. Yes, I am still capable of love. And when we say love life, we often think of romance. But love life can be wider than that. It can mean nurturing your friendships, embracing your family connections, or even loving yourself in ways you never had time to before. But yes, romance is part of it too. For some, it means dating again, going out for dinner, taking a slow walk by the river, maybe even dancing a little if the knees are kind. For others, it means simply having someone who calls in the evening to ask, "How was your day?" Love life in your senior years can be tender, calm, respectful, and deeply satisfying. If you are listening to me now, and you are feeling alone, I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself sitting in a garden. The sun is warm, the air is fresh, and someone sits beside you. They smile at you, not because of your age, not because of what you once were, but because of who you are right now. That image is possible. It can be real, but it begins with allowing yourself to believe that love is still possible. I remember another story about Mr. Han, who was 81. He lived alone after his wife's passing. For years, he thought his life of love was over. But then, at the senior center, he met a woman named Sue Jin. She was 79. They shared a love of reading poetry. They began to exchange books. Then they began to read aloud together. And slowly, quietly, they began to care for each other. At 81 and 79, they found themselves holding hands like teenagers. Not because they were pretending to be young, but because love simply makes us feel alive. Mr. Han once said, "I thought I was done with life. But then I realized I was only done with a chapter. A new one began when I met her." If you are wondering how to begin, let me offer a few gentle 5 suggestions. 1. Stay social. Join clubs, groups, or activities you enjoy. Love often grows out of shared interests. 2. Take care of yourself. A love life begins with self-love. Eat well, move your body, dress in a way that makes you feel alive. 3. Be open. Do not close your heart with the thought, "It's too late for me." It is never too late. 4. Communicate honestly. If you meet someone, be clear about your hopes, your limits, your needs. Love in later years thrives on honesty. 5. Cherish companionship. Even if it does not lead to romance, companionship itself is a form of love life. So, my dear listeners, love life in senior years is not a dream. It is a gift waiting for those who open their hearts. It may come softly, quietly, but when it does, it brings warmth, comfort, and joy. Remember Grace and Robert. Remember Mr. Han and Sue Jin. Their stories are not unusual. They are possibilities for anyone willing to take that first gentle step. And as I finish this little storytelling journey with you, I want to say something very important. You are never too old to be loved. You are never too old to give love. And you are never too old to live a love life. If you enjoyed this warm journey with me today, I invite you, please, leave a reply below. Share your own story, your own thoughts, or even your dreams about love life in later years. I would love to hear from you. And don't forget to check that like button and subscribe button. It lets me know you enjoyed this quiet time together. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel, so we can continue these gentle conversations together. Until next time, my friends, take care of your heart. And remember, love is always with you.